to another sensitive topic. And I want Ugandans, if you're watching and you're a farmer, please take keen, listen very well, the things we're going to talk about. Because these are regulations that were put there by the biggest market of coffee and other cash crops from this country. And they would have been put in place before. But it's unfortunate that up to now, there's no report showing that these regulations have been put in place. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the EU or European Union deforestation regulations that they gave out to all countries, and they asked all countries to honor them and put them into practice. As I speak now, 3 months, we are remaining with 3 months to get the date. They say that if any country that produces coffee, cocoa, or soya, and they don't fulfill these regulations, they will face a ban. They won't be selling their products to any of the countries, to any of the European countries or European marketing. And today with me, I have an official from CEATIN. CEATIN, this is a policy following organization that operates in Uganda. And they're here to tell us some of those regulations. And with me, I also have RDC Chimba, Joseph from Rubaga, who is also going to tell us, after the achievements as their government, after achieving a lot in coffee, what next farmers, having 3 months to do all the things I've read. If you get a chance to read them, you will see that there is a lot they are demanding from our farmers, from our country. I don't know if you read, our farmers are ready for that. With that, I will start with Mr. Rebecca Jonathan from CEATIN. Say to our people and tell us about these regulations about deforestation.
Thank you so much, the moderator today. It's an honor to be here before to discuss these issues. It's pertinent to us. And to re-echo my name, I'm Jonathan Lubega, the Program Officer, Agricultural Trade for Rural Transformation at the Southern and Eastern Africa Trade Information and Negotiation Institute. It's a mouthful, but we reduce it to CEATIN Uganda. We are into the East African region, and we also have offices in Zimbabwe, which is the mother office that we have. But in the East African community, East African region, CEATIN Uganda is the overall coordinator for the 3 countries. When you look at the European Union deforestation-free regulations, these were developed by the European Union, and the European Union set itself to see that it is having 0 emissions, and it does not want to have or contribute to any sort of deforestation. That is under the European Union Green Deal. So it is under this Green Deal document that the European Union set out itself to put very many and other policies, and part of which is this European Union deforestation-free regulations. And these deforestation-free regulations came out last year in 29th June 2023, and they are spelling out, they are looking at actually 7 products. And in Uganda, we are affected by 2 specifically, that is coffee and also have cocoa. So from 2023, June 2023 to date, we have been asking our government and also seeing how far we are progressing. But that being said, them being put out on that date in June, we have a deadline, as the moderator has highlighted, that is by December. Most of the documents say 31st December and others say 29th December, but all the same, we have a deadline that is in December 2024. And by January, that is 1st January 2025, all people, all farmers, especially those dealing in coffee, shall be have to be abiding by these regulations. If you look at these regulations, they have particular provisions that are laid out, and there are 3 core provisions. The first provision is to see that there is due diligence that is being conducted, and also that these the products that are produced have to be deforestation free. So there should be no deforestation that was conducted as per 31st December 2020. So if your gardens or your coffee plantations were in an area that was deforested after 31st December 2020, you are prone to be not to comply with the regulations. And then the third element that is specified under this is compliance with the legal, the legalities or the legal frameworks of the country. And by this, it means that you have not to, like human rights violations have not to be conducted, environmental concerns have not to be, you should comply with the environmental laws and all those that regard to, production. We have employment, all those elements that are under the legal frameworks and those that look at production. So that is simply what the law really wants. And it tags the government to put up, structures. And the government has, we must recall that the government has the National Coffee Act, which is a very good law, a starting point for us to bench on to meet these regulations, because the laws ask for the need, Uganda coffee registration. Yeah.
Mr. Rebecca, I just want you to break down, because when we go into details, we can't really finish. It's a very big document. Just break down. This is what they want from farmers. What exactly do European Union want from farmers? And what should be done before 31st December this year? Yeah,
as I highlighted the three elements, that's what they really want. And they go beyond that to looking at the need for the exporters. Those are, they refer to as the operators, to provide the due diligence statement. And in this due diligence statement, it asks for the exporter to show that they have actually marked the land that from which the land is, from which coffee is derived. For example, if I am a farmer in Masaka, that coffee exporter has to show that the coffee has been gotten from Masaka, this village, for this person, and on this plot of land. So it is not deforested before, after 2020 as provided.
Okay, I want to go to RDC, Mr. Chimba Joseph. First, say hi to our people.
Good evening, our viewers. By names of Chimba Joseph. I happen to be the Assistant RCC of Ulubaga Division. I'm so humbled to be here with you as we go through different topics of the night.
Okay, what do you have to say about this? Whereby we are seeing that before you sell your coffee, you have to prove that you didn't cut down trees. I know you have, you have, there's a way you connected to villages, so you have a relation there. Just like your grandmother, if she's going to sell her coffee, then she needs to provide a proof that where this coffee is gotten from a place where I didn't cut trees, and provide some GPS information, all that. How possible is that?
First of all, it will be a good idea. But I think that idea would be best if it is the government that invented that idea. But see, being driven by colonialism syndrome, it looks as if we are not independent. Because deforestation, I don't think even our government supports it. We don't support deforestation. And I don't think that people down there in the villages have been carrying out deforestation, because our systems, our institutions down there in the districts, and the National Forestry Authority should have come in if that act was carried on. But since there is no any alarming incidents about that, it is not that rampant. I don't think I don't find any reason why these people should come in. They dictate what we should do, and yet we have our institutions. We have an independent government.
I'm sorry, so we have to remember and we have to know that the biggest market for our coffee is from European Union. And so if they can use that, they know that they're the biggest consumers compared to what.
So my concern is, have they found out that in Uganda we carry out deforestation too much? Yes, it is an international regulation, but why is it coming at this, at this time? Because coffee has been there. People have been exporting coffee. Uganda has been exporting coffee. In fact, if you look at the statistics way back, Uganda had the best coffee, the quality, even the quantity. At a certain point, was exporting in big numbers. It is of recent that we are competing with Rwanda. Rwanda has also some big quantities of coffee, but Uganda had very big quantities some time back, and the quality was okay. And the government came in with different measures to make sure that the quality and the quality standards really, get maintained. And one of them, I saw a former minister, now is a senior presidential advisor, Honorable Sempij, encouraged people to have these, to have mats, not to just lay the coffee on land. And those measures were put there to make sure that the standards of the coffee that we export are really to this international standard. So that proves that government has been there, has been always watching to see that we reach that standard.
They're saying they're protecting environment, and they fear that forests may.
It is incumbent on the government. It is incumbent on the government to provide all possible measures to see that the international standards are reached at. But if the other people come in and speedily like that, it brings a lot of questions.
Do you think it's one way they use? Someone was telling me that. Isn't this a sign of neo-colonialism? Do you want to also to buy that?
It looks kind of, though they are disguising themselves in creating standards.
Climate, there's a lot of climate change and protecting environment.
Because even if it was, those things are there. They have been always there. We have these international summits where they go, they talk about climate, they talk about this and this. So I don't know why they come direct. Me, I think the other negative side, these people could be targeting us. Africans, we are taken. Africans, we are taken as inferiors. They could be targeting us. Those are they could be elimination methods, elimination tools to eliminate us from
the market.
For the market, because they are seeing that maybe there's rampance of coffee marketing.
Yes, so recently the demand for coffee has been high in those countries. And
they have to look for measures of taming us. Because seriously, the way they are coming in, they are rushing too much.
So how do you see your grandmother there explaining GPS, GIS? I'm located here, this is where my farm is, to that man who comes with a bicycle buying coffee around?
In fact, it looks it looks really it is too frustrating. It is even it is very scary, because the GPS now someone in the village now they want to demarcate everywhere. Why? It is someone who's land.
As I bring in my brother, me when I was reading all these things, I thought, you know that here the way people are stealing land, the way people are grabbing land, we can. someone may think that they're trying to grab your land as I was doing some farm GPS locating and everything.
very scary.
I thought, I said, you people, this information, you people, I know you reach those guys of sitting. Have you tried to show those Europeans that effects and how this is not, how it is still impossible to be achieved in a country like Uganda as of now? Because this is October. This thing must be implemented by December 31st. Have you reached to them, and what is their conclusion about this, or what do they have to say?
Yeah, we have conducted several engagements with the EU, with Uganda Coffee Development Authority, Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Agriculture, and all related institutions. And specifically, EU itself is clear and says that these are the deadlines. And it also says that consumption rate is high, the other side. Actually, it's not even saying, it's really clear that our export goes basically to the European Union countries, the Belgium, the Italy. They consume a lot of our coffee and they take it. And as the RDC has said, he has said that our coffee is of good quality. Yes, because our coffee is bought by those countries to help boost the other coffee from other countries. So it is of a high quality. But this issue on leaving Uganda or favoring it and what, it's been skipped to the extent that they're saying it is a general, it is a general element. I mean, there's general regulation that has to be followed, because countries like Brazil and non-African countries are not low-developed countries, but they are also affected. So it's about us as the country to institutionalize and also go deeper in understanding these regulations.
Do you buy RDC's idea of saying that this could be a move to frustrate African countries or developing countries which are growing, to frustrate them? Because you see, as they sell more coffee, their currencies keep losing the value. Because the more we sell coffee, the more Ugandan shillings gets value. Could it be when you try to check, you are in business? Do you think that would be a point, as he's alleging?
Yeah, I don't know. It is his point, but mine, it is. I would say that coffee or trade is now regulated by very many players, and that is consumption. The consumers themselves regulate, and also then looking at these regulations, we are under very many international, international organizations that we have to comply with. We are under the WTO, World Trade Organization. So many laws and policies come from those laws and trickle down to us. Maybe the one challenge that I would note is the failure or the limited negotiation capacity, the weak negotiation capacity that we have by our representative in those bodies. So if we had a high percentage of negotiation for reduction or the need to see Uganda or Africa in another lens, that would be working for us. But our representatives did not go to that deep extent. So it implies that we all agreed and unanimously agreed to these regulations.
So you mean, as they read these regulations, Uganda agreed and signed?
Yeah, we have representatives on the EU Commission, and all people, Ugandans sit on those representatives. The
decision.
The regulation passed on 29th June 2023, and it was a series.
Represented Uganda.
It followed a series of negotiations from the EU Green Deal. So we have members of Parliament who sit on the EU Commission, and
was UCD? Did UCD have a representative?
No, UCDA currently has been as they have appointed. There is an EUDR focal person under UCDA to coordinate Uganda's activities and progress to the European Union in managing this and complying with the EU.
So my question, okay, my question also to you, comes to you in this way. This is RDC. These are the first people who would know about this, talk to people. And you find out most of them are not aware of these things. So who is telling people, like, who is, if I could ask RDC, have you seen this project, like, have you ever been called in any meeting that you should implement this project? Farmers must get to know about this as Zoris. So who is doing it?
You know, it is us.
As you're telling us that Uganda has even representatives. If you don't mind, you can even mention their names. You can mention their names here.
One is the late. That's what I would say. Cecilia Ogwara. So was sitting on those commissions. But then to see that, you know, Ugandans, we act on impulse, and actually the government works on impulse. If you see a regulation that was passed in 2023, and even in the current, because when you look at the current financial year, the budget that was laid down by UCDA to enable it meet the regulations, that was including awareness, you know, drafting the roadmaps and engaging necessary stakeholders. The budget was 35.6 that was asked by UCDA. What was first allocated was 2.50 billions that was given, and later anyway, it was only increased to 13.
Pause there. You are 18. I don't know why you're interested so much on the budget. Why are you so interested in how much government is allocating with? But when these are like the other problems or the other issues we are talking about is that even farmers don't know this. People are busy.
Ours, what I would say, I would say that CETIN is a non-for-profit organization. And
so why are you pushing for government to give you CDA money?
Because we have a regulation that is in, which we all know, and our farmers are already scared. And also the government knows it by UCDA, and actually UCDA is currently conducting awareness, but it's quite late. It has agreed to it, and it is not a CETIN or it is not any civil society organization. Ours is to enable government, also help it, because we have conducted awareness as well, trainings, but we can't do it more than the government.
To who? When, like people, this is RDC.
Yes.
I can tell that they have never had a meeting at RDC about this, maybe. I don't want to allege.
Yeah, that's the government now.
According to what he's saying, I don't want to conclusively confirm that, whatever. My main concern is rushing it, and yet it is not so beneficial to the ordinary person. Yes, it has that good element of climate change, protecting the environment, protecting the forest, whatever. Yes, that's a good idea. But the way they are rushing it, the way they are implementing it.
Okay, let me make this clear for my people who are watching. I want to make this in Uganda. Gwekubamaka fana ngo mutaze gure mwanyizo. Nagamba ino soka nondaga map wa wolimira na ejimpere konga copy. This is what these people are telling people. That when you go to buy adisochfuna ofuna egunde nti omuntu agenzo gure mwanyi nagamba na itaka walimbwa tobanga ngo mwanyi wagulima muchisalu in a wetland. Tobanga wateme ekibira. So kundage wa those are the regulations. Nze sina tukeri kusenda. I'm not yet even there. And even I think I don't want to allege, but I'm just exposing this public. Musajibu. Jajja unga mubagamba.
It's really confusing. Seriously.
Before you buy your coffee, give me the map. Show me that you didn't cut trees. Give me the evidence that there was no forest there. I don't know if you will ask for photos. I don't know what you will use. What exactly is this? Maybe to farmers?
That's why I told you. That's why there are many questions.
Maybe
there are many questions.
I can come in just a
okay, come in.
Before in 2021. Parliament passed the National Coffee Act, and that National Coffee Act gives mandate to UCDA. And part of the mandates that were given to UCDA is conducting farmer registration and also keeping a register of farmers. And register of farmers, not any other product, but that is coffee.
Let me interject here.
That
Okay,
came
come
in
in.
before.
Let me interject
the
here.
Okay, come in.
If
Yes.
that thing was there, the government should have sensitized the people about that thing. But I have never seen any sensitization whatsoever about that everything. It is this time that I'm hearing about it. It has just it has just
And it's
come to our
happening.
ears.
If you go and check on the website of European Union,
But
European Union,
if
what?
that thing was
In fact,
was
RDC, you
planned,
should thank Siatini for
Yeah.
helping you even understand
And also
this
DreamTV.
element.
DreamTV,
Yeah.
BTV
If
Plus,
that thing was
also has
there-
allowed this topic
if that
to come
thing-
out public,
if that
and I
thing
know
was
people will
there-
start discussing it.
Exactly.
the government should, if the government had adopted it, should have gone an extra mile to do what? To sensitize its people. But the population, I don't think they know.
You know,
It is not there. They don't know anything. That's why it is going to become. The moment they start that thing, people are going to get scared. People will start to say that people are taking our land.
Yeah, and you know,
In fact, that blame is going to come back to us, the
Yes,
government.
because
That these are tricks of government.
they want to trace our gardens and take them.
yeah.
And it's, my major concern is rushing it, and yet people are not even sensitized. Really, there's a lot of
But who should sensitize
A lot
people?
of questions.
That's one.
Okay.
Who had the role of sensitizing and didn't do his role?
Of course, it would be the government to sensitize.
But you see, you new government official, you're not aware.
Is that means that thing is not there.
And Siatini is here pushing for government.
Or if
to
it is,
give money to
if it is
UCDA.
there, if it is there, it is there for them, not for the governments, the partners, the government.
Maybe just to clear air. On,
Yes.
this is not a Siatini regulation, and I'm actually also
Yes, I know
happy,
that, but
but we are discussing.
you said I was in
this.
the meeting where you were, and
Yeah.
I saw you were pushing so much for budget.
No. That,
Yeah.
because our mandate is trade, fiscal, and related issues. In trade, we look at all impediments that are going to deter our people losing market, the taxes
is
that
already
are
an
going to be
impediment.
coming. So it is us that actually even wrote policy briefs, made analysis of this law, and we saw a space. So that's when we engaged the government, the UCDA, look here, these are the issues that are going to affect our farmers. Can you come in? So when you look at the budget that was first allocated, that is 2.5 billion, it was actually increased to 13.9 billion. It is as a result
For the purpose
of compliance and also for the
regulation.
farmers not to lose the market, which is actually right now people are getting it. And this is not a forced thing. You know, when you look at in international law, there are laws that governments have to assent to. For example, if you do not agree with the law or a treaty, you may not adapt it to your country, and then you're not held to that treaty. That is international law. But this is a regulation that is looking at those that are trading within the European Union. Uganda, we are part of the East African Community Treaty, which is covering Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and all the countries that we are in. If the East African community comes up as a bloc, those people have generated themselves to the extent that they respect a bloc. So whatever they do, so they saw that they are overly consuming products that are causing deforestation, and or even not even products. But then when you look at the EU Green Deal, as I highlighted before, they said that they should reduce consumption of products that are causing deforestation, and part of the measures that have been put in is having this EUDR. And they're saying, okay, why actually we are even discussing this, saying that we are only constrained to trading with EU alone. We do not have other opportunities to take our coffee. Because when you say that we can take to China, we can take to other countries that can buy our coffee, but then even you look at the UK is also bringing the same regulation, but then it hasn't just come in place. And we can't say that this is...
But UK is also under European Union.
No, it is. It broke out, and now it is having its own. And this is an eye-opener for us as a country. Can we only rely on EU for our market? Can't we consume locally? our value added to the products that we are having? Can't we add value and also get other options of markets? So those are the questions that the government should look at.
As Seattle, you know what happened to the money? They put there to promote people, that was put there to promote coffee.
It's also under
in Uganda.
It's also under
you know
the
what
act.
Happened?
It's also under the act.
You know what happened with that money? Okay,
yeah.
Mr. Chimba, don't you think this will downplay the achievements of NRM government, most the PDM, NADS, what and what, as people are saying, you know, we use this money in agriculture, now we are yielding, and now we are going to elections, by the way, we should know that, and then people will have coffee. Let me assume that the regulations, that these people say no, we are following them, and then we don't fulfill it. Are you seeing NRM losing because we won't have market, and you are silent?
Of course. Like for instance, in my district, Irengo district, where I come from, Masaka people are very, very, very happy, extremely happy. They have got a lot of money from coffee. You go to Komansimbi, you go to Rengo, you go to this is all everywhere. That is Chotera. People have got money. In fact, everything has increased in Greater Masaka because people have really yielded a lot. Now, if you bring such a measures that deter them from accessing what they have been accessing, it really looks, it is a step behind. It really frustrates them. So, as a government, of course, a lot of people will bring the blame to us. Because for us, we shall be there trying to give a clear picture, yet for them they are not getting anything. You're talking, but for them they want money. Tell please, these laws were put by these people, these measures, what we don't know these things. But of course, an ordinary person will not hear that, will not listen to that. So this one is going to be a setback. It is really a setback. Because at least people have been happy that they have been benefiting from coffee. It is these 2-3 years that people have really benefited. Because they used to benefit much in coffee way back. Because even they had that saying that Mwanzabala, way back, people could really get a lot out of coffee. Now it is these years, 2-3 years, that people have really benefited from coffee. The coffee has boomed, has really boomed. So the moment people don't have something in the pocket, and definitely the blame comes to the government.
Where does it live in the coming elections?
Of course, now we are there to explain. And we don't need to explain because this was a plus. It was a clear plus. Now we are going to explain. And
someone is fighting you?
No, I cannot say that is being to look shallow. But if it is for good of the environment and if for the good of the standard of the coffee, then we should be closely, closely looking for a way forward. Closely looking for how best to implement that measure, how best we can adapt and how best we can sensitize these people. But we cannot just rush. You bring an idea, now you want to rush because you are the first world countries, you are first world what? That's not good.
Let me hope you will cause this discussion on your platforms as well.
Of course, in fact, I got it. You because why I'm always busy in the field. When you said it to me, you remember what I told you. But what is this? Even I've never heard about this. And even I wanted to change the topic. So this thing, I don't know about it.
But you see how important they are. They touch the only person.
This is very, very pertinent to lives of our people. So, really, this thing, I'm finding something that is going to be a very big challenge. And people, in fact, as we are talking now, coffee is growing even now. A few months from now, they are going to do the same thing. Because coffee takes 2 years. Now, the first 2 years we are done. I think next year
you'll be harvesting
something is going to happen.
From PDM money, those who use PDM to
of course, PDM helped them because when the president developed that vision, that these ordinary people, if they get this money to help them, at least somehow add to to what they are doing, add value. Because if you, in case you have trees, you have seedlings, but if you have some money, it can help you to look after that seedling, to maintain, buy these those mats, the whatever, so that you get quality out of the thing, out of out of the crop, and at least there's something in the pocket than just getting money to feed, and that substance kind of arrangement.
Oh,
So that Myoga has really helped too much.
Mr. Jonathan, yes.
But to my analysis, PDM has excellently done very well, because that money goes directly to a person, and most of people in the villages use that PDM money to do what? To add value to what they were doing. So that's why, for us, our major concern was, have you got the exact 1 million that the president targeted? And we found out that there are some shortcomings out of whatever. There are some challenges, like people were given 800, 700 instead of 1 million. But nonetheless, people who used made good use of that money, and at least somehow we are seeing some results.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to you. We are about to leave this press. We have less than 7 minutes to be out of here. What should be done? As in what could be like emergency? Like what can we do as a country? What is that solution that you think that we do it so that we don't lose this market? Because the moment people will see sacks of coffee in their homes, nowhere to sell it, let me tell you, it's another terrible thing to the economy, the country. So as you people who are in business, what do you think?
Certain is an NGO, not in business. I may just clear that it's an NGO, and what we think that has to be done is, first of all, enhance UCDA, enhance its capacity by allocating its resources that are required as the government, not any other person. Regardless of whether the government gets the money, we don't know.
Don't forget that it's part to rationalize it.
Yeah, but that's why they had to extend that. And the government, the president is also aware of the relevance of coffee, and he doesn't want to lose that lucrative business that is for the people. And then secondly, we have the National Coffee Act asks for the need to develop regulations. These regulations, before they are actually in draft, they have input these elements that are under the EUDR that require traceability and all those mapping systems. So we need them to be passed, because when you are making your case before for resources or even for implementation, then we see that we need a backing law that guides UCDA, which has not yet passed. And also, what we also think that will work is multi-stakeholder engagements. First of all, by this I mean ministries coming in together as a block and work at this plague as early as possible. We need to see UCDA jointly working with other ministries, trade, foreign affairs, and all those, to see that we also bolster our areas of other market avenues beyond the EU darling as per se, as we see it right now. And then we also need to work closely with the government, has to pay keen attention to value addition, because we know that currently one of the issues that we have is we export roasted coffee and what, but if we add value to the coffee that we produce, a farmer that side will even get more than the amount that is sold here. When you look at the equivalency of a kilogram of coffee, right now in Uganda it is 12,000 a minimum, and then that is but on the EU market retail price a kilogram is 30 plus shillings. So you see there is a big difference, and those people are making more money out of our coffee because we don't add value that gives it, the actual prices. So if we see all this, people sensitized, we need to enhance. I'm happy for UCDA, it has started it, and it's never too late.
And I want you to alert
push this issue.
Ugandans that it's not stopping with coffee. I was trying to read more about it. They said they are coming to maize, they are coming to rice, they are coming to what. It disturbs any person, but again we have this movement of greening the world, protecting the environment.
Or the order.
You said what?
Of course, for them, whatever the target is to control us, nothing else. Having us in their fingertips like this, holding us. Because if you're controlling everything from security, now you go to health, whatever we do in health, it is them. Whatever we do in security, it is them. But for them, they put the measures, but they do contrary to the measures. Now, they come to social life, same thing. Now they have come to agriculture. So, we need to look for a better solution. Because seriously, this is not right.
And when you touch agriculture, you touch the heart of Uganda.
Africans, for us, we are agricultural. You know, our things is agricultural. So you cannot just tamper with what survives our lives.
And also looking at currently Uganda, I mean in Africa, Ethiopia is the most.
The most exporter.
Yeah, so we should draw lessons from what Ethiopia is doing to comply with these regulations. They are not running away from them.
As a coffee expert,
yeah.
Also Ethiopia supplies EU?
Yeah, it supplies, but what Ethiopia does, its production is high, but the export is relatively lower because they maximally consume it at the national level. And for us as a country, we don't consume. And when you've gone to hotels, what they bring on the table is Nescafe and what those are imported, and we don't drink our own coffee. So we need to have that intended campaign, awareness on value addition for ourselves and also maximizing consumption. Countries like Sudan export our coffee, and then the amount that Sudan gets from the coffee that it buys from us, it imports from us. Yeah, it imports coffee from us, and then it exports the added coffee. It adds value.
The coffee they get from here, they add some value and they
export, and they sell at a very high price. So those are the issues we have to identify and see where did we go wrong.
But at least the government under President Museveni, President has been very, very sound on that. His volume has been raised too much about value addition.
But
in fact, if there's something that these people should appreciate, the ordinary people, they should appreciate President Museveni. Because now you grow, grown in big number, in quantities. For us, we shall do what? We shall look for ways. As long as you follow such a measure. And the measures were protecting the ordinary person. Yeah. They are not limiting the ordinary person.
Am I wrong if I say I use Zanayani Kamusenyu?
Who?
President Museveni. Because yes, he has promoted all this. But again, there is a regulation that is...
Did he propose that measure?
No, he did propose it. But like they are silent. You cadres and what you will be just...
You are not silent. I'm here and I'm denouncing that. I'm denouncing it. And I don't think that President Museveni can support that. So,
we have option. Do you see any option of us getting a market somewhere else?
You can look for other markets.
It's too late to look for markets now.
Not too late.
What we need, because even other countries are looking at even adapting these same regulations.
EU, what is the... do you know how much EU produces? The production rate of EU itself. Can it
coffee that is produced in Europe?
Can it produce coffee?
Yeah, it produces.
As he was
the coffee they consume comes from Africa and Asia.
It's not that they have a production rate, but mostly
for them they are good
about time. We have less than a minute. We have less than a minute. But in his submission, he said they are looking for the ways of reducing consumption of things which compete with forest. So it means literally they are looking for the ways of reducing.
So they are going to do away with the coffee because they like coffee too much.
That was in. You have 10 seconds, say goodbye to our viewers.
Thank you, our viewers. Thank you for tuning in. This topic has been a bit technical, but at least the expert has been here. But I'm here, my word to him, as an NGO, but specifically, and as an expert NGO, please, and please. You see, NGOs, we have some bias on you people. Everything that comes from those people abroad there, you just prepare. Seriously,
time can't allow us. You talk to him about it when you're out of here. Say goodbye to our people in just 5 seconds.
Thank you so much, our viewers. And what I would need to say that if you want to get more information about these discussions, please follow our social media platforms.
Thank you very much. I'm out of here. I've been honored to hear. This is Truth Be Told. We meet on Thursday.